Today I'm heralding in some good gamer vibes with Final Fantasy XIV's 6.55 patch. Hey, I'm Fornex. Welcome to my channel. We're going to be diving into the last patch of Endwalker, saying goodbye and hello to a brand new character who is going to herald in a new dawn, a new age for the game. Spoilers ahead for the storyline, of course. Let's dive into it. We are directed to go to Razat Han, to Vitra and his sister Ajdaya. If you have not played through the story already, it is a wonderful, heartfelt, emotional ride with a melancholy story with a sprinkling of hope for the world lost to void. One of my clerks was just here with a message for you. Terrible voicing. The students of Baldesion require your presence in Shalian at your earliest convenience. Indebted as I am to our friends, I hoped I too might be of service, but it is you alone they require. If you have no pressing business, pray make your way to the Baldesion Annex at once. Ojika awaits your arrival. Roger that. In the meantime, I shall continue to show Ajdaya the city, from notable landmarks to the people's lives. There is still much and more for her to see. Farewell now, my friend. I look forward to the day we set forth on another adventure together. Off he goes. Okay, so we are heading to El Shalian. I love this city. To Onjika to Sanjika. Goodness me, what a name. Forgive my pronunciation. A warm and hearty welcome to you, Fornax. I gather you received our message. Please wait here while I fetch Krile and Graha. There they are. Oh, they're so cute. She's so adorable. Thank you for coming on such short notice, and forgive us for sending for you so soon after your trials in the void. And then we aren't actually the ones who require your presence, but Erenville. He stopped by recently, you see, and asked us to reach out to you on his behalf. Okay, I'm intrigued. I imagine you're as surprised as we are, given he was supposed to be away on a long expedition. Something must have necessitated a change in his plans. All he would tell me is there is someone whom he wishes Fornax to meet. He also mentioned that he would be attending to business at the stadium. Shall we look for him there? Sounds like a reasonable plan. Tally-ho, darlings, let's go. TTFN. Okay, so here we are. Fast forward to the stadium. Now then, where is Erenville? And we get some lovely cutscene dialogue here. Look at her little piggy tail.
Erenville!
Piggy tails and bows.
Apologies for the wait. I hope I haven't called you away from anything important. I chanced upon some commissioned items at my destination, so I thought I might deliver them.
Where did you go, if I may ask?
The New World. Tural.
You went to Tural? Then the person who you wish to introduce...
Aye, she hails from there. I present to you...
Well, it seems you've lost her.
Did she wander off?
Sorry. It's just so different here. I can't help but want to explore.
Well, while you were exploring, your candidate came to us. This is her, the adventurer you crossed the seas to meet.
Ooh, you weren't exaggerating. It's plain she's no ordinary woman. I'm Wuk Lamat, claimant to the throne of Tuliyollal.
Tuliyollal.
It's Tural's governing nation. The capital bears the same name.
I'll get to the point. I want you to come with me to my homeland.
Given the magnitude of the request, perhaps you should explain why you're making it?
Of course, of course. Soon, an event of great import will be held in Tural. The Rite of Succession. Taking the form of a contest, it will determine who next ascends the throne. As daughter to its present keeper, I will participate. And I have every intention of winning. I was searching for champions to join me when Erenville told me about you. A mighty warrior who knows no fear, who sweeps aside terrible fiends as if they were reeds, who flew to the edge of existence and saved our star.
She asked who Eorzea's greatest hero was, and so I told her. Much more elegantly, I might add.
Now you know why. You'll come to Tural, yes?
Wait, let's all just slow down. Wuk Lamat, was it? You claim to be of the royal family, but is it not the Mamulja who rule in Tural?
Tuliyollal is a nation of many peoples. Not only the Mamulja, as some across the seas are quick to assume. That said, its present ruler is a Mamulja, and one blessed with two heads besides. He's also my father. Not by blood, obviously, but he raised me as his own, and that's what matters.
So that is the way of it. My apologies if I was indelicate.
Hardly. I know little about your land, and nothing about your parentage. But in my eagerness, I've gotten ahead of myself. I can't expect you to agree on the spot when we've only just met. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. Just know, though, that if it's adventure you seek, you could do far worse than come with me. Now, this is only a rumor. But apparently, the contest will involve the fabled city of gold and the legendary beast, Valyarmanda. Tell me that doesn't pique your interest. Well, the details of the contest have yet to be announced. But the rumors come from someone involved in the preparations, so I'd say there's more than a grain of truth to them.
I advise you not to put much store by these rumors. Golden cities are not but a dreamer's fancy.
Says the dreamer who was bent on finding one when he was a child. Just because you failed doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Tuliyollal and the Golden City. Just like in the letter to Grandfather.
Regardless of what the contest may entail, it'll be no simple thing. If I'm to triumph, I'll need capable and dependable companions. So let's go on a hunt together. There's no better way to get acquainted.
So, we've met Wuk Lamat. She has challenged us to a hunt to get to know us better, which is one way for a kitty girl to do that. We are not jumping on board immediately, which I like. I'm quite happy about that. I like Erenville's description of us. He seemed quite coy about making it, which I found quite lovely. Let's read what he has to say. That is the long and short of it. At the very least, I ask that you go on this hunt of hers and take her measure yourself. We do come to find out later that they are quite close friends, or at least she thinks they are, which is rather sweet. I am disinclined to immediately get behind her cause. I don't know her. I don't know her motives, her capabilities. It's one hell of a thing to take on the mantle of a kingdom, and especially as we learn more about the kingdom, it's a hell of a challenge for a young person, especially an inexperienced one. So we will have to just wait and see. The chance not only to see Tural, but the fabled Golden City besides. This is the stuff of a grand adventure, my friend. Which is not to say you should hastily accept this invitation, mind. There is still a great deal we do not know. Agreed, 100% there is a great deal we don't know. Let us not just jump in. There are other contenders for the crown. So let us begin to rectify that by first getting acquainted with our visitor in the manner she suggests. Very well, I will entertain it. I'm not certain what might be a suitable location for her hunt, however. Erenville steps in. When I was at the guild earlier, I learned about a petition for researchers to the Isle of Haam. That's a terrible accent. Dear God. You went there not long ago and culled some unruly fauna, of course, but according to recent reports, other ordinarily docile fauna have grown savage. It is believed they've been unsettled by some manner of predator, and so the researchers seek assistance with identifying and dispatching it. As part of our hunt, perhaps we might answer their petition. The isle isn't far, and we would also be helping those in need. That works for me. Just so you know, I've honed my skills against some of the most fierce beasts in Tural. Whatever this creature is, it had better be able to put up a proper fight, or it'll end before we have the chance to get acquainted. She's gung-ho, let's go for it. What are you thinking about, little Krile? She is getting ready for her debut. It's so cute. She is such an adorable character. And before we can prove ourselves capable and dependable companions. My apologies, I must see to some preparations. Pray go on ahead to the Isle. I will join you as soon as possible. She's so cute. Roger that. If the rest of you are ready, let us head to the harbour. This being guild ship business, it should be simple enough to secure a vessel. Here we are at the harbour, and there's Wuk Lamat. So we have a ship. I've barely set foot on dry land. Oh well, I suppose it's for a good cause, Come, let's get going. Okay, and this is the warning, because lots of stuff is going to happen. And we arrive at the island.
From here, we must walk.
So much ice. It rivals even Tural. Oh, a white bear! I wonder what it tastes like.
Remember, we're here to deal with creatures that have been deemed an unacceptable danger. Do not attack anything else unprovoked.
I know. So this is the isle where ether literally bursts forth.
Aye, the Isle of Haam. The geysers lie deep inland, however.
You really are knowledgeable. Kona told me nothing about this place.
I doubt your brother managed to come out this way. He's like to have toured facilities like Labyrinthos, however.
The great big cavern under the city. It's amazing that they could make a sky down there complete with a sun.
I'm like, do you know anything about this?
This brother of yours, he has been to Sharlayan.
He has. Kona's my second older brother, and until recently he was a student in this city. He went on and on about technological amusements. It made me want to come here too one day. And so I did. I think I understood something of how he felt when I set foot in his beloved studium.
He went to the studium? Your brother must be quite a scholar. But I wonder, like you, he'd be royalty, yes? With such a personage coming to Sharlayan to receive an education would surely have caused a stir, yet I recall nothing of the sort.
He consulted with the head of the studium beforehand, that his identity might remain secret. Being Mikote, he had no trouble blending in. He's adopted like me, you see. One time, though, he almost let it slip to a professor. It was all he could do to parry the barrage of questions.
Having no shortage of questions myself, I can imagine.
Ask whatever you like. I don't mind. But I maintain, hunting together is the best way to get to know someone.
I disagree. Although maybe you see a person's worth when they're kind of stripped down and faced with the most difficult circumstances, and life-threatening situations bring out, I guess, a truer side to a person. We'll have to see.
The researchers should be up ahead. Let's find them and learn what we can. The researchers should be just ahead. There. The building to the northeast.
So, ordinarily harmless creatures have grown savage.
Don't know what's got them riled up, but I'll take down any that thinks to try me.
This is the start of the duty. We're going to play through it a bit. I think at this point I'm going to give her some life. I'm a white mage, so I tend to be an officious healer.
Right! Let's hunt our fill!
I do love the area.
Look! Someone's in trouble!
But I don't particularly like the corridor feeling of some of the dungeons in 14. But I guess I've been a bit spoiled in Guild Wars 2 because the rigging is very fluid for all the creatures, and the dungeons can be expansive. They can be a sectioned off world map where you just explore until you hit the edge, and there are pros and cons to Guild Wars maps. But I think especially in Endwalker, the intensity and beauty of environments have really gone up a notch. And with the graphical updates coming into the game, I'm really looking forward to what the new expansions are going to bring, because I feel like that's one of the areas that the game could improve. I think they've been incredibly crippled with the limitations of their engine, so I'm very happy that things are evolving in that capacity. Oh, thank goodness you've come. I take it you're one of those who answered the petition. Wait, you aren't? You're Fornax, the adventurer who saved our star? Would that our meeting were under better circumstances. I was conducting a routine inspection of the transporter here when I suddenly found myself surrounded. Oh, a little puff of breath. You'll find more of the same across the chasm. Once docile animals grown strangely aggressive. My colleagues there can tell you more. I do love how the characters emote. If you'll give me just a moment, I can finish checking our equipment.
You really are famous.
Well, you know.
And for good reason, as you'll soon see for yourself.
Oh, thank you, Graha. Your adoration is sometimes a little bit uncomfortable, but hey, I'll take it.
Quite an interesting contraption you've got here.
I do love these inventive forms of travel. It really is fun. They do really well for that.
Is that our petitioner? Let's go and have a chat.
Okay, here we are. Let's see what they have to say. The adventurer come to answer my petition, I presume. I'm most fortunate to have one of your considerable skill here to aid us. A creature of unknown origins has been sighted on the island in recent days, and we believe its presence has affected the local fauna. The animals beyond this gate are the worst affected we've encountered thus far, though we dare not go back. Yeah, they're having a rough day of it. Your task is to quell any threats you find and search for traces of the beast responsible for all this. If you should find anything at all, we will be most grateful if you would share it with us. Charlian's always wanting new information, which is very fitting, and oh, here we go. She's leading the charge. I do love the fact that they use artwork rather than the digital NPC. I think that adds something to it, at least for me. I think the artwork is amazing in this game. So yeah, and she's also super cute. And people have talked about the hat that she's wearing in respect to hidden ears or not. So as a Viera player, I look forward to being able to wear many, many hats. And we do have a little bit of interaction here. I like these type of things. You don't necessarily have to read all the combat text and informational text here, because the NPCs are going to respond each time you interact, which is nice. I think one of the complaints people have about Final Fantasy XIV is the fact that it is not 100% voiced. I would certainly give a kidney to have that happen, to have at least all the main quest line, the main scenario fully voiced. That would be amazing.
Feathers. But did they belong to the predator or the prey?
So, how do you prefer our prey? Roasted or raw?
You presume it's even safe to eat?
Exactly. Thank you, Erenville, the voice of sanity. And also, this bunny eats bunny food. I don't want to nom down on some unsuspecting angry puppy. The cloying stench of fresh leavings assaults your nostrils. Whatever beast left them is likely still close by.
Still fresh. Whatever this beast, it cannot be far.
Oh, a study in scatology. Oh, here we go. Oh my goodness. That's some cute puppy monster. Oh, can we take him home instead of beating him up? Oh, that's so cute. Oh. Oh no, he murderized all the puppies. Look, he's got a little bunny tail at the back. Oh my god, he's so cute. Oh no. He died it. How could we? Oh, I feel so bad. Oh my god, look at the big ones. They've got such cute underbites as well. How? Oh. We need like a Pokemon add-on so that we can just like stun them and knock them out and make them go to sleep.
Let's head back and report
Catch and release. Oh, my stupid brain. The algorithms and sprites. It's not real. Oh, poor puppies. Oh. Come on then, let's go and talk to these researchers after we have murderized all those cute puppies. Cutscene incoming. I do love all her bangles and spangles. It's lovely.
Powerful wings and razor-sharp talons. Worthy prey. What is that thing? speaks?
That's like a metal toucan. Toucans are really lovely. They're cute.
It's heading towards the falls.
I'll stay with the researchers. The creature, I leave to you.
Come, Wuk Lamat.
Right.
Yay, let's go and murderize a toucan. Aww. I love the cinematic. It makes you feel like you're in a movie a bit. I love that. And that we're the main character, which is something that a lot of MMOs miss. We kind of feel like a side character, especially in World of Warcraft.
Just so we're clear, I wasn't startled by the beast earlier. It caught me by surprise, that's all.
Forgive me, but I failed to see a difference.
I'm getting hungry. Let's be done with this so we can eat.
Caught me by surprise! Caught me by surprise!
Think you're clever, huh? I'll rip off that beak and roast you on a spit!
And you see her imposter syndrome arrive, and I like the fact that she's unsure, but she's brave. And that goes a long way to kind of making comfortable with her character. Okay, I will spare you me boring this thing to death as a white mage. It was fine. I didn't wipe at all. I didn't forget to kill the whirlwinds. Not once.
And I had barely limbered up.
Oh, a shaky hand. Aw.
It was a terrible foe, but no match for your axe.
Absolutely. You tell her. She did a good job. Good kitty. Belly rubs now.
Only to be expected. You were pretty impressive yourselves. I was right to invite you on a hunt. But what a curious bird that was. Though we have similar in Tural, they don't grow so big or use such dirty tricks.
Dirty tricks! Dirty tricks!
Aye, dirty and despicable. Otherwise, I could have easily...
That's a wonderful expression.
Leave this to me!
Here comes Krile. Oh, she's so cute.
Have at you!
Well done, little Krile.
Krile!
I am terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
It's okay, puppy. We were happy to wait for you.
She arrived as I was seeing the researchers to safety. It was all I could do to keep up with her after I explained what happened.
Proud as punch.
So this is what you meant by seeing to preparations?
After hearing of the contest, I thought how wonderful it would be to join you.
Oh.
In coming here, I wanted to demonstrate my skill at arms to Wuk Lamat. Alas, it seems I missed most of the action.
That was amazing! The piece didn't stand a chance!
I'm glad to have been of service.
She is just adorable.
May I ask what inspired this change?
You will recall the time you descended to the ethereal sea in search of Hydaelyn. Recognizing that my skills were inadequate, I chose to provide support from afar rather than join you. It was the same when you set forth for Ultima Thule. How it pained me to stay behind again and again. That's what inspired this change. Ever since the final days were averted, I've used every spare moment to hone my craft. As you all have adapted your methods to suit the circumstances, I started by considering how I might best contribute. And after much deliberation, I arrived at my answer. With the esoteric art passed down by the legendary Archon realm, Pictomancy. As I recall, you have embraced versatility to effectively complement a certain someone's style.
He is always my tanky bitch. This is true.
What I do is much the same. Like you, I don't want to be left behind.
Oh, Krile.
Indeed. I must say, you appear to be especially keen on being involved in the ritual of succession. Is there any particular reason?
Yes, there is. This letter from Tuliyollal. It was addressed to my grandfather Galuf, and turned up among the students' archives. The ink was faded, so I couldn't fully make out the sender's name. Gulool, someone.
Ja Ja. Gulool Ja Ja. That's my father, the Dawnservant. What does the letter say?
While much of it isn't legible, it appears to be a request to investigate the Golden City.
A request to investigate the Golden City? From the Dawnservant himself?
Well, well. Seems it may be more than a rumor after all.
Being a member of the royal family, it was my hope that you could confirm the authenticity of this letter.
I can say for a fact that my father didn't write this. Given how culturally diverse Tuliyollal is, it was decided some time ago that a common language was needed. But instead of elevating an existing tongue and its speakers above all others, we looked to those widely spoken overseas and created an altogether new one. The similarities to your common tongue also make it quite easy to communicate in these situations, no? This letter, however, is entirely in Eorzean. If Father had written this, he would have been in Tural. And what's more, it bears a wax seal. We don't bother with them.
So the letter is fraudulent, then?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. My father's signature is genuine, as far as I can tell, so perhaps he simply dictated it.
I see. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. It seems my grandfather indeed had dealings with Tuliyollal. I can't help but be curious as to what exactly he was doing there.
Be interesting following in grandfather's footsteps.
In order to help us decide on a course of action, would you mind if I asked you some questions about your home?
By all means. After all, learning about one another was the purpose of this hunt. We can talk while feasting on this fellow. I, for one, am starving.
We're eating that.
And I like the fact that she's going over to chop the poor thing up herself. And now this gentleman gets to cook it. Well, now there's a famished face if ever I saw one. What can I get you for next? I'm here to have dinner with some crazy people. Oh, bird meat from the hunt, you say? Leave it to me, I've got just the recipe. It's a new dish I recently learnt for some sailors, and for you lot, it's on the house. Have as much as you like, you hear? I am from Cumbria. I can do a northern accent.
Come, come. Let's enjoy the bounty of our first outing together.
Very kitty nommy nom.
I'd heard that Charleyan cuisine was terrible, but this is fantastic.
Charleyan cuisine, and the bread is legendary for being terrible and comforting and filling and also terrible.
What is this? Oh, it smells spicy.
Oh, come now. Since when did you become so soft? It's not like we don't have spicy food in Tural, too.
Oh god. Oh, this is the stuff we made for Zero. Bless her cotton socks.
According to Dickon, intensely hot dishes have become popular in Razadhan after a traveller ordered a curry with several times the usual amount of spice. So he started offering the same in order to please the growing Harnish population here in Charleyan.
It's nothing I can't handle.
Yep, just keep eating. Eventually the heat sweats will stop.
Your boorish manners reflect poorly on the both of us. I wish you would consider your station.
Oh, remove that stick from your ass, darling.
I swear, sometimes it feels like you open your mouth only to criticize.
Would I be correct in assuming you've known each other for a long time?
Aye, thick as thieves since we were little.
I beg to differ. She is a long-standing acquaintance. Nothing more.
I see. I see.
All this time you were from Tural. Oh, would that I had known sooner. There's so much I'd like to ask.
You and everyone else. I've kept it quiet so as to avoid the endless interrogations.
Well, if he's going to be a miser, I'll be happy to tell you about our homeland instead. Since ancient times, many peoples have called Tural home, and they've been fighting each other for nearly as long. The fighting finally stopped some 80 years ago, when the reigning Dawnservant unified the disparate communities and founded a new nation.
And that's how Tuliyollal came to be.
Since then, we've enjoyed an era of uninterrupted peace. But my father is getting old, and he wishes to relinquish the throne to a worthy successor. One who can preserve his legacy. Including myself, there are 4 claimants to the throne. But while we all have the right to participate, one among us cannot be allowed to rule.
I think it's her older brother. She's hurt and in pain. Just talking about him was painful. This has got to be her sibling, her other sibling.
A man who is too ambitious by half. Word of the Garlean Empire's collapse has reached Tural. While most are simply relieved, he sees weakness to exploit and would lead our armies across the seas on a campaign of conquest.
After everything my father has done to give us peace, he would drag us back into war. I can't allow it. No matter what, I must win this contest.
I understand your reasons. But this being an event that will dictate the course of your nation's future, Is it appropriate for outsiders like us to be involved?
Oh, it's more than appropriate. The Dawnservant himself expressly encourages it. The ruler of Tural must navigate the intricacies of myriad cultures, and there's no better way to prove oneself qualified to do so than to work with foreign allies.
No white saber complex for us.
That's why I sought you out. Through our hunt, I've confirmed that you're a warrior of considerable skill, but more importantly, one of good character as well. And so I ask you, will you lend me your strength and help me win the throne of Tuliyollal?
Let me think about it. I'll stop the tyrant, but...
You don't need to decide right this moment. But I will need you if I'm to triumph over the competition. I'll stay here as long as I can while waiting for your answer.
In that case, allow us to prepare a room for you at the Baldesion Annex.
That's very kind of you. Oh, and one more thing. Once we finish eating, would you mind if I took the rest of the meat?
She needs a lot of protein to maintain her six-pack, which is understandable. Let's see what it has to say. Judging by Wuk Lamat's reaction, it appears Turali cuisine isn't exactly fiery. True. Whether Wuk Lamat has the makings of a ruler, I can't say. But I do know she deeply cares for her nation and her people. I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. I think she has a good heart. Whether you choose to help her, though, it is for you and you alone to decide. Think on it well. Now then, it's past time I report our mission of success to the guild ship. I would have done sooner, except Her Highness needed her royal meal. I shall come by the annex later. Till then. I like Erenville's stance. I mean, I think he does need to remove that stake up his bottom. He clearly has a deep and long relationship with Wuk Lamat. They're clearly close friends. That kind of banter only happens when you have been in a deep friendship with someone for quite some time, or you're a bit of an ass hat. And I don't think Erenville is an ass hat, but I do think that he has a very kind of strict sense of decorum, which is interesting, which might indicate that he's actually from family from the upper levels of society. That kind of adherence to social traditions or peer pressure from dead people is very much honoured and respected in the upper echelons of society, as they're desperately trying to maintain the kabuki theatre of their control and rights to their privilege, which obviously is nonsense. We're all just people. No one's all worthier than any other. Actions and deeds, not lineages and finances. But I digress. So I am very much interested in seeing who the warmonger is. It could be her father's biological child. It could be one of his many adopted children. There seems to be quite a few. She did mention she had a number of brothers. I feel like, because of her emotional reaction, that it is definitely one of her siblings who is taking a darker path, and I wonder what influences have swayed him. Maybe there's some palace intrigue going on here, an untold story of hardships and difficulties, or some Machiavellian activities under the surface. We will dive into it. The story never fails to please in Final Fantasy XIV. I'm going to have a quick conversation with G'raha. So, the coming dawn. G'raha is mulling over what you have learned of Wuk Lamat and her plan. Well, I dare say we now have a fair grasp of Wuk Lamat's situation. Still, you've been afforded time to consider her invitation. Why not use it to learn more about Tural? Numenon is bound to have some information on the continent. We're going to the library. It certainly wouldn't hurt to be better informed. Just the thought of burying myself into books is making me feel sleepy. No, it certainly wouldn't hurt to be better informed. I agree. I am a swotty nerd. Quite right. Not only would it help you make an informed decision, but if you do choose to go, you'll be better prepared for what awaits. Agreed. Come, my friend. Let us off to the archives. Yeah, definitely. Let's go and rummage through some old books. I love the smell of old books. There's something amazing, and new printed magazines as well. There's something wrong with me. Anyway, what's he got to say? History, geography, botany, public archives alone should suffice to provide a solid grounding in Tural. I quite agree. Let's go and rummage. So we head over to the unblemished book. Eorzean Cuisine, a History. It is impossible to adequately discuss Eorzean cuisine without speaking of that land from which many of our modern-day staples hail, the far western continent of Tural. Ogre pumpkins, ruby tomatoes, even the ubiquitous poppito. These crops and more that regularly grace Eorzean dining tables trace their origins to the New World, as the place is known by most. The tales of this culinary immigration begin in the year 1498 of the 6th Astral Era, when the Lamentin sailor named Krytan successfully traversed the Indigo Deep to arrive at the theretofore unknown continent. Krytan spent several moons exploring inland, in the course of which he encountered the denizens of the sprawling nation of Momalja. He was even granted an audience with their supreme leader, whose confidence he won along with permission to roam freely. Krytan would return to Tural several times, but during his first expedition, he charted the land and gathered myriad root vegetables and seeds to bring back to Limsa Laminsa. The most notable of these was the poppito, whose ease of cultivation and nutritional value saw it quickly spread to all corners of Eorzea. Produce was far from the only bounty of Krytan's expeditions to Tural. Many tantalizing recipes, such as the bean-filled burrito, and gripping legends, such as that of the Golden City, reached our shores by way of his ship. Those outside of Krytan's circle, Tural largely remains shrouded in mystery, yet its influence on our cuisine cannot be overstated. Many scholars, myself included, would relish the chance to immerse themselves in the culinary culture of that faraway continent. The flora and fauna of Tural. Every land has given rise to unique wildlife, and the continent of Tural is no exception. Yet while some of her creatures have become a familiar sight in Eorzea, many and more exist that are rarely seen this side of the Indigo Deep. This tome introduces a select variety of species as described in the testimonies of sailors and adventurers. The alpaca. Accustomed to Tural's craggy mountain ranges, these four-legged beastkin have been domesticated for seemingly hundreds, if not thousands of years. Their soft white fleece is highly prized by weavers, while their strong legs and sure-footedness makes them capable beasts of burden. Again, I hate the framing of everything in terms of how we can use it and how we can profit from it. It kind of speaks ill of our mindset towards the creatures that inhabit Eorzea and Etheris with us, and of how we see nature in our own world. So I guess it's par for the course. The wyver. This ferocious scalekin is native to the dense jungles of Tural. The Momalja have succeeded in taming them and utilizing their prestigious strength for manual labor. Given their immense size and power, it should come as no surprise that the wyver is also employed as siege beasts. Oh, that's deeply immoral. Enemy fortifications cannot long withstand this horned brute's rampage. Yeah, so in history we have used war dogs. Elephants have been used on the battlefield. Horses have been used on the battlefield. And it is unquestionably deeply and profoundly immoral because a creature cannot give consent. Baldesion. Tural folklore holds that this bird-like creature is the mightiest of beasts and the very embodiment of nature's power. Whether it is this beyond myth, however, is uncertain. I love mythical legendary creatures. The wise dragons of Asian culture, the firebirds of rebirth, it's all very beautiful. I hope that we don't just, bag it and skin it, and it would be nice if we didn't do that. Lines in the sand, the geopolitics of Hydaelyn. Let us begin by comparing the geological characteristics of the three great continents and Tural. The former stretches from west to east and lies entirely within the northern hemisphere. In contrast, The latter, Tural, extends from the far reaches of both the northern and southern hemispheres, and a difference immediately presents itself in the form of climate variance. Shifts in climate tend to be gentler when moving east to west, but harsher when moving from north to south, owing to the fact that longitudinal migration is far more common in history, whether it be men, animals, or plants. A case in point is the Allagans, who rose to power in Aldenard before advancing east to Ilsbad. Their movement would be mirrored thousands of years later by the Garleans. Meanwhile, although the disparate tribes of Tural waged war with one another for generations, stymied by the climate, none could make any great headway north or south. Tribes hailing from frozen lands withered beneath the desert sun, while those who thrived in the open plains could not pierce the dense jungle. Such was the way of it, until the leader of the Mamaljas succeeded in bringing the continent under one banner. Given the land's divided history and the reasons thereof, one cannot help but be in awe of this feat. Truly, it is a testament to the Orc Archer's greatness. Principles of blue magic and spell acquisition. The origins of blue magic can be traced back to the esoteric practices of the Wallaki, a tribe in the distant continent of Tural. The tribe holds nature in the highest, and in seeking to cultivate a spiritual connection with it, they have learned to harness the power of the wildlife around them. In exchange for teaching them the common tongue, I was permitted to live amongst them and train in their ways. Those days are some of the most grueling I remember. They were tremendously rewarding. For instance, I had the privilege of visiting the Lapis Canyon, the tribe's sacred grounds. It is named so for the Cerulean deposits that well up to the surface, turning the entire canyon a brilliant blue. Under the shaman's watchful eye, I finally managed to master the Wallaki's art and make the animal's power my own. As no name existed for it in the common tongue, I took the liberty of naming it blue magic. The reason I chose this color, as you have doubtless gleaned, is for the significance it holds to the Wallaki. I cannot think of a name more fitting to honor the people from whom this noble magic was born. Having perused a wide selection of books relating to Tural, you are somewhat better informed about your potential destination. Grahat here will be eager to know what you have discovered. Okay, let's go and find the kitty. Scoured the library to your satisfaction, have you? Excellent. While there are few books wholly dedicated to the subject of Tural, I dare say you found tidbits of information scattered here and there. But come, let us continue outside. The marmots do not take kindly to chatter. Do like how the books are done in Final Fantasy XIV. There's a lot of information, there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of personal input by the authors. It feels like this is the writings of a person rather than a dry retelling. I like the personal touches, it's very interesting. And I like how deep they go. Would I like every lore book in this place to be readable? I certainly would. That's probably a little bit unreasonable considering there are probably thousands of books on display here, so it's a Daddy I Want a Pony moment. And now we go to an interesting scene where two of my favourite characters arrive. Now then, I'm quite keen to hear your honest impressions. I couldn't help but notice that we read the very same book on cuisine. I was pleasantly surprised to find references to Tural within. Among them, did anything particular pique your interest? What will you say? I was rather taken with the tales of Ketenram. Popatoes, I have a newfound appreciation for them. The legendary city of gold. I was rather taken with the tales of Ketenram. Ah, yes, the renowned Leminson explorer who traversed the Indigo Deep and discovered the unknown West. His accomplishments didn't end there. He travelled Tural extensively and even forged a friendship with the Dawnservant. What a guy. Will we get to meet him? I don't know. If we were able to meet Ketenram, what things we could learn. Alas, all this happened nigh 40 score years ago. He may no longer be alive to tell his tale. I'm hoping that we actually get to meet Ketenram, or his descendants, or maybe his family is still in the Minsa. Maybe they still journey by sea to Tural. That would be amazing. But moving on, did you perchance learn aught of the fauna in Tural? Given your adventuring background, I expect the topic would interest you. Probably not in the way you think. What will you say? I learned about the alpacas, I learned about the withers, I learned about Valigamanda. I'm going to say I learned about Valigamanda in hope that there's some lore, fingers crossed. Now why do I get the impression you've imagined pitting your skills against the fell beast? I resent that mischaracterization of my intentions, Graha. Unfortunately, I found scant detail on your would-be prey. One source simply described it as an enormous winged creature with scales as hard as steel that rules the skies. I should like to see it with my own eyes, presuming it even exists. I can understand if you're a warrior or something, that would be an appropriate line, but I'm a scholar. I feel like it shouldn't be about prey always. Ah, I thought I heard voices. Hello, Elise. Looking very dapper in your boots. Fancy running into you two here? Well, well, have some research of your own to do? Aye, we hope to arm ourselves with knowledge that may benefit the Garlean people. I can't do a different voice. I've got deeper or higher, that's it, guys. Or maybe northern. Having forged a new trade agreement with Razat Han, they will next look to foster relations with other nations. This includes former imperial provinces. Talk about difficult negotiations. In view of this, we hope to find hints in history of how neighbours of differing races and ideologies might engage with one another. And what of you two? What endeavours bring you here today? Well, a Lady Hrothgar wants me to go and help her win her father's crown, who's retiring. He's the Dawnservant, the ruler of Tural and Tuliyollal. So, that's my week. A nation composed of the disparate peoples of Tural. Yes, indeed. What do you think about those potatoes, or potatoes, or popopos? I dare say this is precisely the kind of example we seek. We do well to read up on Tuliyollal ourselves. Tuliyollal! The contest. Is Fornax the only one allowed to help Wuk Lamat? There is no mention of such restrictions as I recall. On the contrary, Wuk Lamat gave us the impression she could have several champions. I think I know how to make the most of our respite. Follow me, Elfino. We have planning to do. Yo, let's go, let's go. Elise, wait! 'Twould seem our plans have changed. If you'll excuse me. It's so cute. I love their relationship. They're such lovely siblings. They never could rest on their laurels. No shit. They are very adventurous teenagers. I'm hoping that we get to see them grow up eventually. I would like to see their adult models. That would be kind of awesome. I hope they don't suffer from the Lisa Simpson vibe. Graha. We've met him on the bridge to have a conversation. Are you alright, my friend? You look very pensive.
Oh, it's just... Despite all that we've learned, I can't help but feel we've yet to hear the whole story.
True. True.
What about you, my friend? Are you inclined to accept or refuse Wuk Lamat's request?
I am very much on the sidelines. I don't know. I'd never say no to a new adventure. I'm still undecided, to be honest. I'd rather not get involved in politics. I'm honestly undecided. Yes, I want to go and explore Tuliyollal, Tural. I want to go across the Indigo Deep. Sounds amazing. I hope that we have an adventure on the way as well. Those deeps throwing something exciting at us. But as much as I like Wuk Lamat, and I deeply do, she seems a genuine, kind person who's brave, a little bit of imposter syndrome, but don't we all have that? Who seems to be genuinely doing the right thing, and there seems to be some sibling drama that we're going to have to deal with, and her facing down her ambitious, expansionistic, imperialistic brother. Yeah, I'm undecided because I haven't met the other contenders. So we will have to see.
I don't blame you. No matter the assurances, it's no simple thing to wade into the midst of a political struggle, and in a foreign land at that. How about this then? Instead of deciding here, go there first and then decide. In the course of seeing new lands and meeting new people, you'll surely find a way forward. That's what adventurers do, is it not?
True, 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 true.
Such a journey would be the envy of many a scholar. Distant as it is, Tural remains largely unknown to us, with only meager records to be found in Numenor. The experiences to be had, all the things you might hear, feel, and think. It's enough to stir me to the core.
That was a none too subtle hint to Heidelin. Hear, feel, think.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road.
Absolutely. It is the journey, people. That is so true.
But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it.
We have to embrace every adventure that we get.
Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
Yeah. This is why playing 14 makes us better people.
But there's an idea. I have a matter to attend to at the Agora. Please, go on inside. I will join you shortly.
Okay, kitty boy. Off he goes in hunt of catnip, I'm sure. I love these thoughtful little moments when we stare off into the distance, just enjoying the sky and the sea. It's something I often do. Oh, hello, Thancred. Stalker much, babe? I mean, come on. Dropping some eaves, are you? Welcome back, Fornax. If you're looking for Wuk Lamat, she's currently with the others in her chambers. If you like, I can go and fetch them for you. Sure. Understood. Please wait in the main hall. I hate the fact that I feel like I need a visitor's card to come here. Can I just join the order, please? I love this place. I really like the room. I like all the posters on the walls. I like the big map, which hopefully will be extended very soon. Look at that. It's beautiful. All our adventures. Although we do need to get rid of that mist around the central area of the map. We have been there, guys. We have been there. Cutscene. My character looks very stern. Oh, she's got her little pants on. Hello, Wuk Lamat.
You have the look of someone who's made up their mind. Go on then. Let's hear it.
No shade, darling, but we've only just met. I wish to boldly go where I've never been before. I've never been one to turn down an adventure. I'll do it. So I'm going to take I wish to boldly go where I've never been before, which is tangentially non-committal.
Then you need me as much as I need you. Together we'll blaze new trails in Tural.
To infinity and beyond.
You're not planning to leave without us, are you? Alpha no, Alice! What are you two doing here?
We happened to cross paths at Numenor earlier, you see, and I told them about Wuk Lamat. And when we fortuitously met again at the Agora just now, they expressed an interest in meeting our visitor.
You must be the twins who are sneaking after Erenville as toads.
Wow.
100 things about us you could have told her, and you chose that!
First impressions last.
Damn the shade. Oh, wow. Just true, darling. Yeah. The salt is real, however.
'Tis an honor and a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Your Highness. Alphino Leveilleur at your service, and this is my sister Alize.
Oh no, let's not do that. I really can't stand titles. So, you want to participate in the contest too, is that right?
Indeed we do. We've been assisting with the rebuilding effort in Garlemald. Yet while progress is being made, the question remains of how the nation might reconcile with its neighbors.
I think reparations would be a way forward.
We believe there is much we might learn from Tuliyollal, a nation founded on unity. And in return for this honor, we would spare no effort in supporting your claim.
The more the merrier, I say. And I'd be keen to learn about Eorzea and Garlemald from you as well.
Having recruited so many committed and capable allies, I presume you have no need for my continued assistance?
Nonsense! Like I told you before, you're indispensable. They're strong, aye, but strangers to our land. They need someone to guide them, to point out the dangers and spare them grisly deaths. I can't think of anyone better suited to that task than you. What's more, despite your assertions, I know you haven't given up on the City of Gold.
Here it comes. Very sweet moment.
As I recall, Krile, you were the first to state your desire to visit Tural.
Perhaps I was. Still, I can't help but worry about being away just when our order is beginning to find its feet again.
You have nothing to worry about. I haven't forgotten how you held the fort while I set off to explore Alzadal's legacy. It's only fair that I return the favor. Pray, leave the students to Ojika and me.
But, Raha...
That means that they're proper friends, because she dropped the honorific. That's so sweet. He's such a good person.
You want to retrace your grandfather's steps, don't you? This is a rare opportunity, and I insist that you seize it.
I really hope they explore that storyline. I think it'll be very fascinating. Oh, look, she's gonna cry.
Thank you, Raha. Thank you.
Oh, they do emotions so well.
Well, looks like it's settled. I'm counting on you all to help me win the throne.
I am deeply uncommitted, but I will pretend that I am okay with that. Yes.
I suppose now is a good time to show you what I spent a small fortune on at the Agora.
Shows what you got, kitty boy.
There. This, my friends, is the latest map of the world, created to celebrate our friendship with the Loperids. Cast your eyes west of Sharlayan, for there it lies. The site of your next great adventure, Tural.
Dum dum dum. Tural. I'm really looking forward to going. They promised an adventure to equal that of Hydaelyn and Zodiac, a storyline, so goodness me what we've got in store. But yeah. And people have commented on how low res this is, but we're getting more pixels soon, people. We are getting more pixels soon. And that's it. Once you play through this, you can watch the credits, I have not put them on here, but I have included the after scenes.
When does the next ship set sail?
Estinian.
May I ask your destination?
The north and east, I've already seen. I suppose I'll head west this time.
West, you say?
Of course. This is the equivalent of like a pin in a map kind of idea, but hey look, as long as he gets there, that's the main thing. I do like Estinian. I like how simple his character is. I loved his story, the breadth of it. His evolution in Heavensward is one of the most interesting, one of the most rewarding character evolutions that I've had the fortune to experience. And here is Oyonge, looking very dapper indeed in his astrologian attire. I like a man who can pull off a choker. I really do.
I see you've made up your mind. I had a feeling you'd be keen.
But to think that our comrades too are thither bound. Fate doth work in mysterious ways.
They're going to be working for the brother.
Indeed. It will be a grueling task, having to contend with them.
Oh, bring it, baby.
If the prospect doth trouble thee, 'tis not too late to decline the petition.
God, that's such a flirtatious way of holding that paper.
Though thine expression would suggest thou art far from perturbed.
Oh, how could I possibly be, knowing what's to come?
Then let us delay no further and secure passage on a vessel.
I imagine there is quite a bit of fan fiction about those two lovely souls, indeed.
This will be a mission to remember. Come, my friend. We make for Tural.
And here comes my favourite moment. I love these quiet, thoughtful times.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty?
Oh, Emmet.
Or the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of Blind Frost in Offerd's north?
I'm not crying, you're crying.
The fabled golden cities of the New World?
Weigh anchor now, the tide is high, and dawn of new adventure nigh. Row forth to break horizon's bond, and tread the gilded path beyond. And that is 6.55. I am genuinely looking forward to exploring Tuliyollal, its culture, Tural, the continent, all points of the compass. I'm incredibly curious to see where Kryle's story will be the NPC who guides us through the Pictomancer. I would love that. I want to know about her grandfather, his adventures. Are we going to meet Ketenran? Are we going to be torn? What will we make of the tyrant? Probably her brother. I want to know what the trials are going to be. Are they going to be Herculean? Are these subtales like? Let me know what you're most looking forward to in Dawnservant below. And thanks to my patrons, my supporters over on Subscribestar and Patreon, everyone who's bought me a coffee. Thank you so much for supporting my content creation, my channel. I couldn't do it without you. And thank you for joining me and putting up with my terrible voices. I will be back again on the channel making more MMO content in the not too distant future. But until we meet again, please stay safe, stay awesome, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.